Well, I'm off to a little bit of a late start. I'm just going into Gaital to pick up something for Rene from Kelly. And then at the end of this trip, I'm going to bring Kelly's dog back from the beach. So heading out about a half an hour later, but I needed the sleep. I did not sleep well the night before, so this was good to get a nice night of good sleep. I'm so excited. I got more Freon in Panama, so now I won't be boiling at the beach. From El Valle to Poci was about 3.5 hours. Really easy, smooth drive. This was the little town square in Poci, which is a very small community before you would arrive in Pedasi by about maybe 20 minutes. But I love how these small towns have these beautiful squares where there's a church and there's just houses around and then a really pretty park usually. You'll see that in the small towns in Panama. The countryside was so beautiful with rolling hills. It kind of reminded me a lot of like Santa Barbara County and San Luis Obispo County, where I used to live. The visit I anticipated turned out to be very different from the visit that I had. And it's been an interesting and insightful time. This was the Poci Country Resort, where Rene and I were kind of using as like our meeting point. And unfortunately, you will see trash dumps in these smaller towns that don't have waste pickup. Or maybe they do pick it up, but they just bring it right to the dump. This is Playa Yaguda, which is just down the street from the town of Poci. Really nice, calm water, beach, good for walking. Not the cleanest beach I've seen, but they are making some efforts to do some beach cleanup in the area. This was from the late afternoon, a beach walk with Rene, and then something shifted, and by morning light, there was clarity and new information to be paying attention to. This day I ended up spending on my own, so I'll share with you where I went. I took a drive to Playa Uverito. When you enter into the area, you can either go to the left or to the right. So this is the road to the left. It's paved for a little while, and then the road turns into a dirt road, and there's lots of little houses on the left-hand side, a couple of restaurants, and then the road kind of gets to a point where I didn't want to continue driving anymore. There's great driftwood, a lot of really nice pieces of driftwood along this beach. It seemed a little cleaner than the Playa La Yaguda, and it was just a really nice kind of laid back feel to the place. It seems like you could walk for miles along this stretch of beach. It just keeps going and going and going. This is where the road was getting a little bit questionable, and I'm trying not to take as many risks with my car. Poor car, after being in an accident and, getting stuck in a few ditches here and there. I'm trying to give my car a break. But you can see it's just nice, calm water. There was a nice breeze in the area, and then all that beautiful driftwood. I managed to get one really pretty piece, but my car was very full on the way back. These are the small towns in Panama where you'll see a lot of fishing boats, and this is big cattle country. There's a lot of cattle farms in the area and just big, wide open spaces. It's much less developed than Pedasi, and even it feels very undeveloped compared to Venao. And I was shocked by the prices in Venao of real estate. I mean, they are really quite high comparatively to other parts of Panama. This is the road to the right in Uverito, so they have paved roads on the right-hand side. And again, some houses to the left and the right, beachfront, and then just, beach access with maybe a beach view on a second story. A couple of little hotels. This one, the La Luna, seemed like it would be a really sweet spot to stay if you were visiting in the area. I thoroughly enjoyed getting out and driving around, exploring a new area. It reminded me of when I first moved to Panama, and I would just drive around and turn right, turn left, see where the roads led to. And that's what I highly recommend people do. When you're coming to a new country, just explore everything. Drive around. You just never know what you're going to find down a small little dirt road. There's some amazing little hidden gems all throughout Panama. This restaurant, Rincon El Faro, looked like it would be great, but then I was looking at reviews online. It was a little questionable. I ended up eating breakfast at the aquarium. The pancakes looked great, but they were more like pizza dough, not really like fluffy pancakes. This is also very disappointing about Uverito. They burn the trash, and there's like this noxious, toxic smell that just covers the whole area. It's really, really awful. I have to keep remembering that trash collection really only started in Panama about 20 years ago. So I ventured off to La Candelaria just to see what was down this road. And again, just a really nice little drive, and ended up at a small little beach just at the end of this road. Well, I made it down the dirt road, and that was fine. And I'm gonna check out the little beach. I'm in a little town called Candelaria, and it's close to Poci, close to Uverito, kind of in between the two of them. So I'm going to make my way down. We'll see if there's any good driftwood on this beach. I do see a piece. I think this area is like driftwood mecca. So we'll see. Problem with going down dirt roads, bumpy dirt roads, and being over 50 is you need to find a bathroom, and there isn't one. I just tried at this little pool cantina place, but they're not open. They had a urinal that was open, but I don't trust my aim, let's say. Then it was back to the Poci Country Resort. I had a little bit of a nap. I was waiting on Rene and the person that she was going to be doing some business with. That whole arrangement ended up kind of imploding. Perhaps I'll tell you that story at some point, but it really just goes to show how careful you have to be with who you trust anywhere, but especially when you're in a new country. So with more time on my own, I headed off to Pedasi just to check out the area a little bit because I'd never been there. This was just a little shopping plaza, um, just on the outskirts when you first arrive in the area of Pedasi. I absolutely love these kind of stores where you can just find everything. And this one was really well stocked with some nice snacks, a good selection of, peanuts and mixed nuts and dried fruits. And then I noticed at the other end of the store, they had the typical glasses, dishware, basins, dog and cat supplies. It's really just like a little bit of everything that you can find. You might even be able to find mattresses or bicycles in stores like this. And then, of course, they might have a meat counter and some fresh produce as
Pedasi
well.
is a pretty popular town for a lot of expats coming to live in Panama. It's in the Azuero Peninsula. It's hot. It's definitely hot. So if you like the heat, it's a good place to come check out, especially if you love beach activities. There's a lot of fishing, sport fishing. There's Isla Iguana nearby. Just a lot of like natural, low key, laid back kind of things to do and explore. On my drive, I went by these Ocean Waves condos. On the website, it looks like they have two sales prices, $150 and $185. And then you go down the road a little bit and you have Costa Pedasi, which the houses in there range from about 350,000 upwards to a million, 2 million. Really beautiful, huge homes. For me, it kind of reminded me of, what you might see in Malibu or Santa Barbara. And this area was very clean, really nice beach area, probably great for morning beach walks or just sitting out on the rocks at sunset. Now, the name of this beach where I am right here is La Garita. I would say Pedasi is a great option if you're looking for, a mansion, sure, come check this out. But if you're looking for a beach community that is less expensive than the Coronado area, I think Pedasi would be a good place to explore. I would definitely like to go back, and I'm in touch with a well-respected broker who I think would, be able to give me some information on the real estate market and maybe do some property walkthroughs. That would be really fun. I'd love to actually go back and do that. Here I am at the end of a road again, and I was gonna try and drive over this bridge, but it goes to an impasse road. So I'm gonna have to do like a crafty 10-point turn to turn around. This is one of the squares, I guess, in Pedasi. I don't know if there's more than one. Maybe there are. And I found this incredible bakery. I brought back some desserts to the house where Rene and I were staying. We had a nice dinner that she made. And this is just driving back in through the little town of Poci. I love how they just have the decorations up on the streets, those little arched formations that have, Christmas lights and Christmas decorations on them. Getting some more clarity in the morning at La Yaguda beach. And then Rene and I packed up our bags and headed off to Playa Venao to enjoy a day together. Of course, we had to fight this horrible traffic. We decided to take a turn down an unknown street and ended up at this beautiful Via Marina lodge and condos. Absolutely stunning. It looked kind of like Bali and Thailand and like a place you would just want to stay for a couple of weeks and soak in the sun at the sea. There's also development on this property of the condominium buildings, so you can see from the plan on their website that I don't know exactly how many buildings there are, but they have condos, I think just down to the left of where I'm standing right now. Beautiful breeze on this beach, and this side of the bay was much more calm. A little bit later we went around the other side of the bay and hung out on the beach and had a little bit of lunch, and the water was definitely more turbulent, and I think that's where all the surfers go and hang out. Condos, condos, condos. Get your condos in Venao. Well, we ended up going to the other side of the bay to Surf Dojo, where we could have a little lunch and they let us use the beach area so we could take a dip in the ocean. And it was just perfect because we bonded, we came up with some really cool ideas that I'm going to be able to share with you soon. It just shows me that opportunities are everywhere and life is pretty amazing that way. There's also this incredible turtle sanctuary that was on the property, and they do rescue, of the eggs and then let them stay here to, get to their full maturity before releasing them back into the ocean. So if that sounds like fun, you can get in touch with the organization. I'll leave a link in the description. But this was a really cool part of Playa Venao. I liked just kind of like this surfer hippie vibe. And then you had this interesting kind of Israeli influence, because there's a lot of Israelis who own property and businesses in Venao. And then we had a quick stop in Las Tablas before heading home to the cooler mountains and the peace in my garden. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the toucan. I'll see you next week.